cars are on the grid, the 1 minute board is shown, so just the one R53 then is going to be in there. It's going to be a very lonely race, I think, there for Jamie Blake out there in the number 97 car. 30-second boards held out though. Pole position in the Mini Coopers for Ollie Mortimer alongside Ian Munro. That is going to be an absolutely cracking race going down into turn number 1. 5-second board here at Knockhill Racing Circuit for resumption of the action. It's a full grid of lights and we are ready to go racing. The lights go out, a cracking start there for Ian Munro, gets the better start there of Ollie Mortimer on the inside, but it's a flying start from the number 23 of Ian Munro as well. Unbelievable stuff as it goes side by side. Munro's actually been pushed back down into second place there, and your R53 all by themselves. But again, fantastic start right at the front there, as Jamie Blake still fighting with Ian Munro there.
Yeah, Mortimer didn't seem to get the initial launch. It seemed like Munro got the better first stage, and then Mortimer came into it, so maybe just controlling that racing a little bit, or timing the gear changes better, managing to take back that position. So Munro will be frustrated slightly, but it's a long race ahead. You've got the one Cooper S trying to run away from the pack before everyone gets, but of course he's going to be the first to discover the wet patches here, David, so he's going to have to take a risk in terms of the braking points. But let's look at that battle for P3 on circuit, P2 in class, between Ian Munro and Robbie Dalglish, I believe that is behind in the blue 91.
Yeah,
in fact, I don't know if that is anything.
I think that's Dan Patterson, the 18 actually. He had a cracking start there, had a great run along that back stretch as well, right onto the back of Ian Munro, and that advantage that he had right at the start is absolutely gone, because it is Ollie Mortimer from Ian Munro, Dan Patterson up to 3rd position, Robbie Dalglish up into 4th, and it's Jacob Heath that has dropped quite a few positions out. He did start at P6, he's down to P8 now, P7 actually now as well, as Patterson comes under pressure there from the red car, and that is going to be a yellow flag potentially. There was a car sliding down off at the gravel. That is a get out of jail free card right now for that Mini. We've got a car facing the wrong way. Welcome to the Scottish Mini Championship.
I'm happy to be here. We've got something being up with the problem as well at the back of the field. I don't know if that's Miles Michael Williams at 52, and also Rich Flex not going again, so the Cooper S driver is out of this one, and yes, everyone thankfully has recovered from the incidents in the first few corners, so we should be able to continue green flag racing with Mortimer running away now from Munro, Patterson and Dalglish in close behind.
Yeah, and your championship leader coming in this weekend, number 22, Jason Ballantyne, up into P6 at the moment, so he is on a hard charge right now, and that 22 is pushing as fast as they possibly can, trying to take position from the 53 on Stu McFadden. Now Stu McFadden is, I've been absolutely waxing lyrical about that youngster all weekend, know him very personally from introducing a couple of years ago with Sim Racing, has done autographs before, and just a ridiculously talented young man, and just an incredible wheelman at anything he drives. It really annoys me, because he's one of these people, you get him into any sort of car drawing and he's just ridiculously fast and upsetting some of the drivers there as well. When the car's coming over the hill here, and it does look like we've got a 3-car fight for the lead. Mortimer ahead of Munro, Patterson and Dalglish all involved in that one. I tell you what, I think Patterson might fancy his chances here.
Certainly looking racy at the moment. Munro looked aggressive at the start, but is now defending. The Cooper S hasn't run away at the front either. Jamie Blake clearly has a bit of a pace advantage, but it's not huge, but I think it's going to be enough anyway. Ollie Mortimer very much safe at the moment. As you say, it's Patterson on Munro. It's the battle. And just in behind those guys, you have Dalglish waiting to pick up the pieces, and then it's McFadden on the defence. Actually, no, he's been passed by Jason Ballantyne, and with your super commentator on the sports, he's one of every race ever. He's a talented youngster.
Yeah.
Great to see him out here in the minis. But for the moment, the positions have stayed where they were in the top 5, so still the same order. We've got another few battles going on further back, so we've got a 3-car scrap there for, I believe, P7 overall, sorry, P7 class 8 overall. So that's Blair Driver and Chad Little and Jacob Heath in a bit of a row there, so those two will continue to scrap, and then obviously the main scrap like always Munro, Patterson and Dalglish, with Mortimer just making a very slight break for it.
Yeah, the thing with it as well, 9 laps left to go here. This is the point of the race where they'll be thinking, right, let's just regroup, let's take a breath here and think about things. Because the thing is, I think they are actually catching back in on Ollie Mortimer, but they're also bringing Robbie Dalgleish back in with things as well here. Jason Valentine has made an absolute gap right now from Stu McFadden in that number 53. We spoke to Stu yesterday, and he was complaining that some cooler issues with that engine.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on Valentine as well, because Valentine is our championship leader, so he's proven throughout the season he's got the pace, and he's already made his way past Stu McFadden. We were already complimenting how quick we know he is, so Valentine on a charge, definitely be looking out for that driver to be towards the podium in the next few laps. In terms of other championship contenders, Jack Irvine currently second in the championship. He's down 11th in this race, so a bit of work to do. Robbie Dalgleish, however, the back, you can see on the back of Patterson. So our championship contenders not right in the front of this field, which is good to see in terms of a competitive championship.
Yeah, opens it up significantly towards the tail end of the championship. The problem is if you're in 11th point at this point in the race here, John, it makes it very, very difficult to make through. Because if you look there, he's got maybe Blair Driver and Chad Little that he could possibly get past, and then what? It's another 5 seconds up to Stu McFadden. Although that gap is come down, I think they've got that power getting close to that 53.
Yeah, there's a nice move down the inside there. We're going to get a side-by-side run out of the hairpin. I'm just going to see who these two cars are that are giving us this show. So that looks like a 3 car on the inside. So that's Ian Robertson side-by-side with Martin Virginia, who's the top newcomer this season as well. Made a great move down the inside into Taylor's, but it's swapped round again now, and back through comes the 333 of Ian Robertson to reclaim that position. So that's just going on throughout the field as well. It's tricky to overtake right now, David, because offline is that bit gap. I'll tell you what, drivers are not shy of those curves or these wet conditions. No fear of the minis losing the rear end in this weather, which is good to see.
That would suggest that it is starting to dry up quite significantly, because you would not even think about looking at those curves on the outside of Clark's in the wrong way if it was wetter conditions there, because it's just going to loop your car right. We saw a couple of the supercars getting caught out by that, as we've got a gaggle of cars heading down side by side into the hairpin there. Almost a little bit of contact. That's outside the top 5 there, so that is going to be Chad Little, Blair Driver and Jacob Heath all fighting that out here.
Yeah, they're going to run side by side all the way down the straight. You can see visibly the dry line there on the main straight, so it's all going to be about who can assert their dominance essentially, David. Get the elbows out and make sure you claim that dry line heading in to Duffus Dip. Looks like they all get sorted before it though, so saying that, we've got a big loop there from Martin just behind. Potentially looking, we've got a spinner up. Oh, that's a couple of cars off there. A fairly sizable impact there for one of the minis. Not sure that is from this distance, but that's 2 cars stuck in the gravel trap. You seem to catch that one early on, David. Did you see what happened?
It did look like contact between at least 2 of them there. And one car, like I said, sent off onto the inside of McIntyre's, and the other one hitting the wall, absolutely furious, giving a kick to the car. I'm not sure that's going to help with the repairs on that one. I think that's Blair Driver. I think that's number 7 that's off at McIntyre's there, and that green one I think could be Jack Irvine there.
Well, it sounds like we've got a car that's off the
safety car.
One mini louder than all the rest, which tells me that there's a blown exhaust somewhere. But as you say, yeah, safety cars out, not surprised, but 2 cars off the road. It's a fairly sizable impact there, head on for a driver on the right. Is it driver on the right, do you think, or on the left?
I think it's driver on the left-hand side. Okay. I think it's Ewan Robertson that's actually in the wall on that right-hand side, yeah, the top and down.
And yeah, I mean, Robertson did kind of headbutt the wall on the inside, the grass and the dirt behind it. That's a fairly sizable impact. Hopefully there's not too much damage on that car. A bit of the speed was able to be scrubbed, but still a sizable impact either way. So with the safety car out, it looks like the race is going to be neutralised for now. I believe I've seen both the drivers absolutely okay jumping out of their cars, so no real concerns there. But we will neutralise the racing for just 5 minutes while we get these cars recovered back on the road. So just a wee run through the order then. So it is Jamie Blake on his own really in the Cooper S out in front. Number 97, unfortunately, championship and race rival Rich Flett is not in this race. Didn't make the start, a problem on the grid, so pulled off just before we got going, leaving Jamie Blake all out on his own. Then it's Ollie Mortimer who leads the Major Cooper Championship race. Number 70 ahead of Ian Monroe, Daniel Patterson. Then you've got Robbie Dalgleish and Jason Valentine, our championship leader, ahead of Stu McFadden, Chad Little, Jack Irvine, and then Jacob Heath overall top.
driver, they make their way around as well at that reduced pace. I think this might be. It'll take a little bit of time to get this recovery done. You've got the one that's beach there. I think that they'll want to move that one at the bottom of the hill to make sure that no spinning cars collide with that.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, well, a dramatic Mini Cooper race here, and I guess that's what it says on the tin, isn't it? The Minis are known for their tough, on the line racing here, and my goodness, I'd love to be a fly on the wall on that debrief if it was contact between those two drivers.
Yeah, it's slightly awkward because it's just at the part of the circuit where we don't quite see what's happened exactly. But you did see the aftermath. I was busy looking at the timing screens, and David spotted a little bit of contact between the two of them. I mean, it's a shame for Ewan Robertson as well because he was right in the thick of the action. We saw him side by side a couple of times with multiple drivers, so a real shame to end his race early. I felt like the race at the front of the grid was just getting going there. Like you had this queue of traffic behind Ian Monroe, you had Patterson, Dalglish all in there, and it was bubbling, and it felt like it was about to blow up and become really exciting. So it's a bit of a shame that got neutralised. However, we have had laps added back on. Looking at our timing screens, there was only 4 laps to go, but we're now seeing I think it's 5 laps to go on the screens. So I believe we should hopefully get 5 laps of green flag action in if they can. If they're able to recover these cars. Now we see one has been pulled back onto the circuit, so that's a good start, and that car's being driven back on. I don't think it had any damage at all, or if it did, very minimal. It's the second car that may take a few extra minutes.
Yeah, I think that'll, if it can be dragged off, then that's even better. It may just be some slightly wonky steering on the front of that car, especially if it did hit into the front pillar of that car. But that second car that went off to the left, Blair drive, but I will at least be able to drive that car back to the pits. Of course, I won't be able to jump back in the race, unfortunately. But that being said, hopefully that does just mean we get one more lap of safety car. I can see the marshals down there at the bottom of Duffer Step, and again the sun's starting to come out now here, John, and the track drying quite quickly. Maybe not as quickly as some of the drivers would like here, but it's almost certain to say that all the drivers would have been on those slick tyres. In fact, there's that car gone already into the rally cross loop here, so I think they'll be racing at the end of this lap here.
Maybe I'm just a motorsport nerd, but I have to say there's something beautiful about a drying line. Just seeing that beautiful ribbon of tarmac with separate colours to all the rest. I don't know, it's just, I find it really, really satisfying. You can see the exact line that these drivers are taking around the circuit, and for me it's a nice sight. Am I a nerd?
I'm just staying silent. It's a thing. It's a thing, I guess. I think
David,
the thing is, though, John, is that you appreciate it in a very different way to maybe some of the spectators, because as a driver, and you've been behind the wheel of many different things here, you know what that represents to you. That's confidence. That's a little bit more power, a little bit more speed that you can take out of the track here. And I would imagine, as long as it's drying rather than getting wetter, it gives you that. It's almost like in the racing games where you've got that ideal racing line turned on. You've got that overlay of the green marker. It's like it's literally telling you, put your wheels here.
Absolutely. It's maybe not so great for the spectators, to be honest, because it just means that it's harder to overtake. And we all want to see overtaking, don't we? Unless the driver you're rooting for is leading this race, and then you don't want to see any moves whatsoever. Take a boring race
stop the count.
Every day of the week. I believe we're about to get going, David, because the safety car lights are out on our Honda Civic, and we're going to get this race going. You've got a bit of a gap between them, so the Cooper S is going to go off and have its own race in the front there. So it's really looking, in terms of the battling, for that second place car, which is leading the class. Ollie Mortimer in the silver Mini with the blue trim ahead of Ian Monroe in the yellow car, Daniel Patterson and Robbie Dalglish. Here we are then for hopefully 5 laps of green flag action. 4 laps.
By the time they get out of that hairpin, they're already up to racing speed. A little bit of a gap there. Not napping further down the field. I think that is just after Chad Little and Jack Irvin there, as Mark Fatunka gets sent down. A couple of positions is already chaos down into the Duffer Step.
There's a car with damage there. I'm not sure if it was a puncture potentially, and yeah, I think it is because the car just pulled off to the right. Maybe a mechanical issue, but a bit of smoke coming out the back of one of our contenders. Can't see it from here, but
I think that might be Dalglish, is it?
It's orange roof on that car, so we'll keep an eye on the timing screens. But unfortunately, whatever went wrong happened on the pit straight there.
Well, he's opened the bonnet straight away and looking for the marshals to give him a fire extinguisher. That is a car that is definitely in some sort of distress down there. It might even be, in fact, I hate to say it, Jason Valentine too. We'll keep an eye, again, just having an idea here, because we're trying to see where all the different cars are on the track there, because I think that's Robbie Dalglish has sneaked up into a 4th position there. We'll get an idea as they come across the line, they confirm themselves here, but yeah, this is, that could be huge actually. I know Jason Valentine has got points there, so yeah, 11 laps down. I know Jason Valentine is following. It is Jason Valentine at the bottom of the numbers. Right. So our championship leader with what looks like a terminal issue there. And, yeah, another safety car, because I'm surprised that didn't come out sooner actually, because it's never something you want to see. I mean, obviously the driver straight out to the front of his car, and he's, well, you know yourself, when something goes wrong, you're so frustrated, so stressed. The first thing you want to do is try and fix it. But obviously, the marshals and track staff have to make sure that he is kept safe out there.
It's a really, when you have a mechanical issue like that, there's so many things running through your head, because you're thinking, first of all, oh no, my race is gone. What's wrong? Then it's staying out the way of everyone else. Am I dropping oil? Looking at the mirrors. Then it's what might the problem be? Am I on fire? Should I be looking for a marshal's post for an extinguisher? There's so many things to consider. Where should I pull off the circuit? Should I be pulling off to a spot that's safe and I can keep racing, or should I just be going straight for a marshal's post? And do I have any power? It's incredibly complex pulling off the circuit mechanically. It sounds very simple. It's not. Unfortunately, it's just in a spot where we had to pull the safety car out there, because what you don't want is a car sitting there on the exit of Leslie, because essentially if you make contact, like we saw with the incident earlier, that's where a car could end up. So it's definitely the right call for the safety car. Valentine obviously concerned there was some flames on the bonnet, so had to have it.
Yeah, it's that whole driver intuition, is that it could be anything from an electrical fire, and again, without wanting to speculate, just going over the things that it could be, he's maybe picked up the smell of some smoke coming in through the engine. And again, you're so finely tuned as a race car driver, you're so hyper aware of anything going wrong. The first sign of trouble, you're just like, no. If it's maybe a creak or a knock or something, you want to try and see if you can finish the race. That's your first concern. Yeah. But if it's anything like that, anything that avoids you having to pull that cord, because if you have to pull that cord that triggers the fire extinguisher inside the car, you're in for a bad time, because then you've got a lengthy repair bill on your hands, and so much stuff has to actually be replaced.
The other thing as well is, when you're in this sort of situation, especially as a championship leader, do you prioritise looking after the car? You know, if you hear something go, is it okay, I'll just drive it to the finish and get the result in and worry about the car later, or is it, let's just stop this car and make sure it don't cause any more damage? Because quite often with mechanical issues, one problem leads to another. If something breaks and you keep on going, it's going to cause more things to go. And in a club level championship like this, if you have a big failure of some kind mechanically, that could actually put you out for multiple rounds, because it's not always easy to fix this and get it replaced, whether it's money or time or availability, resource, all of these things. So it's a really difficult decision as a driver as well. Do you keep pushing on and try to finish the race like we saw in the Radicals for a race winner earlier, or do you pull in and save the car but drop the points? So all of these things a driver goes through when they have a mechanical, none of them good.
Well, it looks like whatever issue has been rectified, because it's now just straight out to the recovery vehicle there for Jason Valentine there, that number 22. So obviously that's a gutting way to end your race here, and question mark is whether or not we'll see that car back out for race 3. But for me, I think what caught my attention was just how quickly he brought that car in. It was immediate. There was no pulling off to the side of the grass or anything. It was just straight down the exit road, which makes me wonder if it actually happened for the exit of the hairpin, if he knew about it, or maybe just after the start finish line, and instead of pulling the car over, he's just looking for a marshal post to take it into. But then saying that, you know, on top of the office as well, but
there was a whole stream of cars, so he was slowing down just before he went under the Beatson's Bridge there, and there was a bit of smoke trailing. I actually thought he had a puncture maybe. Yeah. But the problem is, with all the cars committed behind you going into turn 1, you don't really want to be stopping on apex. There's a blind corner as well, so if you pull just after that, it's a scary place to be. So I think he's probably just thinking, right, let's get around this corner and get to a safe spot. But it looks like recovery-wise, things are clear. Done, yeah. Does this mean we may be going back to racing soon? Let's keep an eye on
2 extra laps. It says here has been added, so we are going to have 2 laps to go. It's literally just going to be a dash. In fact,
1 lap.
It says 2 laps there, so it'll literally be 1 lap to go here. Oh my days, that will be an epic end to the second race of the weekend for the Scottish Mini Cooper and Mini Cooper S Cup. Not quite race 131 that is shown on our time screen, race 13 I believe it is here. But all eyes then on Ollie Mortimer right now, because he's got Ian Munro right down his neck. And listen, Ian will know exactly what he needs to do here. Same with Dan Patterson. I think he'll be just chomping at the bit for this restart right now.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the moment. This is the time. It's still a damp track out there, but that wide, that beautiful dry line is getting wider and wider and wider. So that almost, I'd say, it's almost 2 cars width now. The driver's beginning to use that. So we'll see the Cooper S drive off into the distance, of course, of Jamie Blake, and then it's all eyes on Ollie Mortimer, Ian Munro, and Daniel Patterson for what is essentially a 1-lap mini shootout. And it's a good start for Ollie Mortimer. It's Munro under pressure from Patterson, and Dalglish in behind him, and we've got a whole gang of them as well.
Yes, and there's Robbie Dalglish in there, chatting little, and that must be one hell of a sight there, coming across the line there, Chris Hosey.
Yeah, it certainly is, but also another sign is, you were saying about dry line forming, the track still being a bit damp. Even though it's sunny, there are spots of rain starting to come down where I'm at this point on the start-finish straight, so I don't know if that extends to the full length of the circuit, but again, the weather's starting to play another slightly unwanted card here in this mini race. Also, just in the off the head, Rich Fleck is in fact back out on the track, absolutely circulating, but it's also the test sessions
Excellent, some great update there, Chris. So your race leaders coming into the hairpin for the final time then. This is going to be the last lap. The checkered flag is at the ready as we go into the hairpin. I think it is going to be Ollie Mortimer who holds on to this. Ian Munro will hold on second place. But for the R53s, Jamie Blake is going to take the race win. Ollie Mortimer is going to take the win for the Mini Cooper Cup. Here we go in second place. Third place for Dan Patterson. And some close fights and position change there right at the end as the number 80 of Ross Foster loses out to Mark Mutunga across the line.
I think McFadden passed Irvine as well into the last corner down the inside for P6 in Class 7 overall. But some great racing there. Not quite enough time to, we had those 4 laps that we thought we were going to get previously when things were bubbling over. The track's dried out a bit more, but there just wasn't enough time there for anyone to make a massive impact. We did see some changes of position, but not at the top, and it's Ollie Mortimer who takes the win. A good day for the championship for Robbie Dalglish in the 91 and Jack Irvine as well in the 65, with their rival Ballantyne failing to finish.
So there we go, race 2 for the Scottish Mini Cooper and Mini Cooper S Cup is done and dusted. They've done their 12.